catch my breath. I love you till the end. I love you till the end.
We got 10, 12 seats over.
For those of you who made the extra effort to be in the room, it was a far more social experience for me. Joel, on the other hand, was 100% there for the racing. He always was. When we would get there, I would often race absolutely anywhere and everywhere that he could. And it wasn't just to make me look bad, he actually cared. He would even sit out the cold shed with Dad until his eyes could barely stay awake just to try and help, way before he knew what he was doing. And even as a kid, he was trying to come up with ideas to help our parents financially because of all the money they had put in to go racing. And try and gift it back to Mum and Dad to say thank you, because that's the kind of kid he was. Mum came to as many races as she could over the years, with her partner Ryan also playing a big role in helping Joel during the weeks. Far from Joel's side. As his #1 supporter, she was there supporting him any way possible. She was the loudest one on the track, you would have heard her, even if you weren't at the races. And she was the first one back to him after each race. These were the places that our whole family would get together. That's why, no matter what, we're not upset at motocross. And gave him his second chance. His other shining light through majority of his life was his beautiful fiancée Michaela, who we love so much. She was a local Kingaroy girl who he fell in love with back in 2013. He actually brought her to my house, and I thought she was great. And I left and I was like, oh, she's so cool. And he's like, really? We thought you hated her. I really did like you from the start, I promise. She knew absolutely nothing about motocross and had no interest in it, but Joel taught her how to love it. She has been an unwavering support there every step of the way. Through his accident 10 years ago, to his return and his rise from privateer to pro. She now even listens to Pulp MX by choice, I hear, and stays up to date. So once Joel and Michaela moved in together, Joel really wanted to step up and be more independent. He became very stubborn and wanted to pay for everything himself. He worked for Dad for a little while as a fire safety tech, but thought he had it too easy working for family because he always wanted to do things the hard way. So he decided he needed to be a big boy and get a job on his own. So he did a few months working for Swickers here in town, and he also worked at a curtain shop down the coast. He was grateful for the jobs, but he did not like clocking in and out or being restricted by a normal job. So he ended up returning to work for Dad. But by this point, he was living in the Gold Coast with Alex and Michaela, so it meant a lot of time on the road. He was training, racing, and travelling back and forth to do just enough hours for Dad that he could pay for what he needed. In the end, Joel and Michaela moved back to Kingaroy to make it easier and to go all in on motocross together, the two of them. Joel realised by this stage that he wanted and needed Michaela to be part of his racing program too, in a similar way that I had done for my husband Dean. We sat down with the two of them at Nan's house one day and went over what this looks like. Joel shared his ambitions and his strategy to achieve it. Because he wasn't yet making money from racing, he needed to get creative. And that's when he told us about his YouTube idea and how he was going to document his journey from privateer to pro. Soon after, Joel managed to save $10,000. He quit working for Dad and committed to making an income as a full-time racer. He literally found a broken down van that was all overgrown in the back of a workshop, which he fixed and fitted out to be his race van. From then on out, you would see Michaela on the pit board, washing helmets, cooking, cleaning, setting up the pit tent, on the stopwatch, hours at the practice track, holding spanners, and essentially becoming Joel's other half. Not long after starting privateer to pro, COVID hit and racing got really unpredictable. So they pivoted and the race van became their home on wheels. Dean and I did the same, and we ended up doing some coaching together and sharing some really good times amongst the chaos. Joel and Michaela ended up spending the next couple of years travelling Australia, dodging shutdowns and jabs, coaching and racing anywhere that he could, meeting some absolutely epic people along the way. One of Joel's favourite weeks was when they were escaping some bad weather up north and he got a random Instagram message about a track down in Portland. Him and Michaela ended up spending the week down there training and riding, checking out the sights of the Victorian coast. Joel loved the lifestyle down south because he could sleep until 11 then go ride. He was absolutely not a morning person. In fact, when we were kids, he would literally sleep right up until the race started, often skipping briefing or listening to it in his sleep. This worked well for him, living in the van and sleeping at the track years later. But the level of commitment that Michaela and Joel both had was absolutely unmatched. Joel and Michaela lived paycheck to paycheck and put every single thing they had back into Joel's racing program. And it worked. They would both tell you that it was worth it. When Joel quit his job, he was a 15th to 20th place guy in MX2. He then progressively got better and better, year after year, to become a consistent top 10 MX1 pro, which for those of you in the room that aren't motocross people, is like the top 10 best in the country. He was also the #1 top title contender across the Indonesian, Philippine and Thailand championships. But there was many years that were super tough and he was just scraping by financially. Their first van had a broken aircon, would consistently go into limp mode, they would be struggling to go up hills on the highway, and then it would randomly kick in and work again. But no matter what happened or how many challenges they faced, they kept going and were going to get to the race one way or another. You might recall their trip to Mafra in 2018. Their van broke down twice before having to leave it just south of Sydney, where they jumped in with another moto family, got a few hours down the road, then their moto van broke. Then, on the tow truck that had all the bikes in it, hit a kangaroo. And somehow Joel still made it to the start line. Some would call these red flags and a warning not to race. But Joel used to tell Dad that he worried more when everything was going right. He actually liked a bit of chaos. He didn't care to be rich, he just wanted enough money to race his dirt bike. Which I recently found out that I unknowingly contributed to when my moped that I bought when I was 18 and passed down to my sister Alex was discovered in a shipping container at the Phillips house. Turns out that our Joel claimed it and sold it to his mate Joel for $300 on the down low. Just don't tell Renee. I know. Honestly though, I don't know many people that would have persisted to their goals like Joel did. His drive and commitment to do whatever it takes was a testament to who he was. This level of all-in energy did never go unnoticed. Over the years, he gained many incredible sponsors that now feel like family, and together helped make his dreams come true. We've had so many calls from sponsors and those alike who said they didn't even in the end care where Joel finished in the race, they just loved working with him and were stoked to be a part of his program. Paying him in the end for simply being him and bringing the energy that he did to the races, to the sport. Which is how in the past 12 months, Joel finally started profiting from his racing, earning more with his own program than the factory pros. After 13 years of racing at a pro level, he was finally able to start saving some money and plan ahead for their future. He was putting things into place to financially support their growing family and their son, who we are so blessed to have. Thankfully, so much of this is documented so that our Freddie can follow his dad's journey on YouTube, including the van builds, the travels, the adventures, the racing, and the beautiful love story that unfolded between his parents. He had been working hard and travelling a lot, both domestically and internationally, over the last few years, which meant a lot of flights. Now, I can't finish a eulogy without sharing this story about Joel and planes. So, our very first ever family holiday, back in 1998, Mum and Dad flew us over to Perth. Joel got the window seat, and he sat there looking so confused. He's looking and glancing out the window, to us and says, "How can we be flying? The wings aren't flapping." I think of that every time I get a window seat and I have a little laugh to myself. Joel had this idea all the time of like how things should be. It was the same when I went into labour with my daughter Maya. Because Joel's house was closer to the hospital and I lived a couple hours away, I texted him when my waters broke and I went, "I'm going to come to your house and I'll be there till I go to the hospital." I texted him and when I arrived, he was heading out on his mountain bike, come and met me at the driveway. He stood there with that same confused look that he had in the plane. He looked me up and down and he goes, "Aren't you supposed to be screaming or something? How are you in labour?" Anyway, I'll never forget that look and the confusion that he looks to me for guidance as I stand here looking to him for guidance right now. Anyway, I could talk on my brother all day, but I will start wrapping it up here now. So I don't know if ever given the chance Joel would have ever quit racing. We used to talk that one day he'd be a Travis Rochling and just still going. He was always going to be an advocate for the sport and had shared some ideas about maybe moving into commentary or podcasting or something because he was always listening, basically to anything that would cover moto on and off track. Joel was as authentic. He was raw and unfiltered. He shared the highs, the lows, and everything in between. In these last few years, he had settled in Caloundra on the sunny coast, with his life revolving around bikes. But any time that he wasn't racing or training, he was hanging out with his mates, or with Alex, Luke, and Michaela. The four of them were never far apart, sharing almost anything and everything. This was when Joel got to experience normal activities. From holidays, local coffee shops, dress-ups, family days, water sports, hours of FaceTimes, and laughing at stupid reels. Joel was honestly in the happiest season of his life, and although none of this makes sense, in knowing that he passed away doing what he loves most. He lived his life full throttle, and he turned his second chance into 10 extra years of impact, laughter, growth, and purpose. He has built a true legacy that will live beyond time. I think I speak on behalf of everyone in this room when I say, we're proud of you, Jolie. Thank you for being you. Thank you for reminding us what actually matters, for making us laugh at stupid things, and for loving life and all of us the way that you did. Thank you for bringing us all together, for being so thoughtful and so kind. You didn't care about the material things, you cared about people, and that is evident in this room today. We will carry you, Joel, in our hearts every single day, bringing you along to every race that we go to, and help make sure that your legacy lives on for as long as we do. We miss you so much already. We love you, and we will ride on with you always. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Renee. So what a story for a man to accomplish in just 30 years. So we're all going to take this moment to view some images that the family put together and listen to some music. And this is a great time to appreciate Joel and that place that he feels inside you. So, yeah, you're probably going to smile and maybe cry a bit more and laugh as well.
There's a message on my phone. It's my mother saying, "Darling, please come home." I fear the worst. How could you leave us all behind? There's so much to say, but there's so little I couldn't. You always saw the best in me. Right or wrong, you were always on my side. But I'm scared of what life without you's like. And I saw the way she looked into your eyes. And I promise if you go, I will make sure she's alright. So how do I say goodbye? Someone who's been with me for my whole damn life. You gave me my name and the color of your eyes. See your face when I look at mine. So how do I say goodbye? There's no way you could ever let me down. Gonna steal some time and start again. And someday we're gonna make it out. Just hold the light. Just hold the light high, high. So how do you been with me for my whole damn life? You gave me my name and how do I
So, Joel really was the OG content creator on the Handycam from early on to the YouTube legend today with 17,000 followers and climbing. As you can see, he was pretty mad keen for sport. His life. How cool that he lived for 30 years and he only spent 5 years not on a bike. It's no surprise that Joel was a sports captain, but his family had a beer bar in state school. There was a few photos of him in some, interesting outfits though. Joel really was a man who forged his own path from child right through to adult. He was not interested in following the system and had been a prime example that you can forge your own path. We all have the choice to live our lives by design or by default, and Joel was definitely one to live by design. Joel was a big Trump supporter and an advocate of anti-bullying. He was a mentor to many kids in the motor industry, and in particular the region here at Kingaroy. I hear him saying, "Look out for the future star, Nate Perret." Joel's mind was busy and he filled it with learning about mastery, and he was really fascinated by the mental game. He was a huge fan of David Goggins, Lionel Sanders and Chris Williamson. He kept up with all the moto news on the favourite channels, Pulp, MX and Gypsy Tales. He wasn't much of a music listener, but if he did, he listened to Eminem and punk rock. Joel motivated people to be better, and he had a really strong presence that was felt by all who came in contact with him. I had the pleasure of experiencing this when I was the very lucky celebrant at both of his sisters' weddings and their very handsome husbands. In all of the thousands, I don't know how many comments are on the videos and Instagram, but all of the comments that I saw was like, nicest guy ever. Nicest guy I've ever met. He was funny, he was fit, he was energetic and driven to succeed in life. As authentic as they came, and this was matched by his humble and his honest energy. I don't think there's anyone you would ever meet who would say a bad word about Joel, and if they did, you didn't want to be their friend anyway. So I would now like to welcome up Joel's family to share their heartfelt reflections. First, I'd like to ask Marie to come up and share her insights of being Joel's mum, and we'd like Renee, Alex, Jordan and Ashley to come and join her as she courageously shares her words with us today.
So I'm sorry if this is a bit long, but it was really difficult to fit 30 years of awesomeness into. The financial support for Joel's beautiful Michaela and little Freddie will make Jolly so happy, knowing that they're not going to have to struggle through the hard times ahead of them. But even more importantly, for the show of love and respect for our beautiful man. Your kind words and all the incredible tributes have been so heartwarming. But Joel actually grew up playing board games, card games, and all sorts of sports. He played golf. Sorry, Mickey, and I'm sorry, Joel. But when Joel was about 4 years old, I walked into his room and there he is, as other mothers can appreciate, with his. And I said, "Geez, mate, stop. It's going to fall off if you keep playing with that." And he looks up so innocently and he's like, "Geez, Mum, don't worry about it. I'm not even..." He was just there right from the start. It never changed. What I want to say is that Joel was more than motocross to me. So much more. He was my baby boy. He was part of me that I could never get back. He was born on the 10th of November 94, weighing 6 pounds 9, and he came out with his hand above above his head, so I had to get shoulder and head out at the same time. He's like saying, "Oh, it's okay, everyone, I'm here." It's just like he was backing himself from the start, like on his head like the devil. But we soon knew that he was our little angel. As a toddler, you see in the pictures, Joel, the cutest little islander boy you'd ever seen, and his big smile was winning hearts already. His spirit was evident from the start. If he could have jumped his little baby walker, he would have. He's always been a role model to all of the children, and I'm forever grateful for that. He was Ryan's and Rodney's best mate, and he always made them both so very proud. He was the sweetest grandson to his grandparents, who loved him dearly, and they were his biggest fans. Our whole family shattered. Our world, as we knew it, fell apart. That he touched so many of you simply by being his true, authentic self. In some way, Joel made everybody around him just want to be a better person. I really hope heaven has visiting hours, because we just want to swing by and ask for his advice. What would you do in this situation? What would you do, Joel? Because you would always do what's right. He was never rich in material things, but Joel was one of the few people in this world who always appreciated the value of everything more than its cost. Joel was genuinely the most grateful person I have ever known. I remember all Joel wanted was a new shovel. The old one we used to fix up the up ramps on the motocross track at home had broken. And Ryan got him a second-hand shovel. It was in pretty good nick from work, and wrapped it up. Well, the smile on Joel's face that Christmas morning was incredible. He was so grateful. We really, truly didn't need to get him anything else. Another time, I remember when he got his first ever paycheck from Swickers as a teenager. He had around $700 in his bank. And he come home and he's like, "Do you need anything, Mum?" I said, "No, I'm all good, mate." He said, "Well, what about Ryan? Does he need a new welder or something? I have all this money, I don't need it." When we lived in Beerburrum, we had a backyard motocross track, and Joel and Ryan would always be out there working on or riding the track or through the forestry. One day Ryan's sister Deanne rode off her car. It was an old Corolla, and we bought it off the insurance company for a few $100s. Well, they certainly gave that old Corolla bush basher a flogging around the paddocks. And I know that those memories are some of Joel's favourite childhood memories. And I know this because once he'd become an adult, he came out to visit us just to tell us that he didn't appreciate it at the time. He didn't realise how good it was, but now he just wanted to say thank you. That was just the kind of person he was. My car a few years ago, and he took it to the gym. And some asshole put his bag next to Joel's, and while poor Jolie was doing his workout, this guy stole Joel's bag, walked out, pushed the buttons to see what car he had, and he stole my car as well. Poor Joel was as white as a ghost and could barely face us. We all know he never had much money, but he come to me the next morning with $600 and said, "That's for the excess, Mum, you shouldn't have to pay it." I just looked at him and I said, "I'll shove that money up your bum, Joel, if you try and give that to me, because it wasn't your fault either." But that was just the kind of person he was. He would always be generous with whatever little he had. Trying to give him something in return, though, that was a different story. He's always been the kid that noticed how other people treated each other. He would be the kid that stood up and gave his seat to the elderly or the pregnant woman. He was the kid who put his hand over his heart every time he drove past a cemetery. He was always on the side of the underdog, and he hated bullies and selfishness. He was always the kid, I said that, sorry. So many wonderful memories, I could go on and on. My heart just breaks for you, mate. I We're just about to begin. I really wish that we could have seen the sparkle in your face when you held little Freddie for the first time. Your love for Michaela, so strong. I watched you with your nieces and nephews, and I know you would have been the best daddy ever, Joel. I promise you, Michaela will always have a place in our family, and we will do everything we can to be there for her and little Freddie. We will make sure your son grows up knowing just how incredible you were. And to you, my darling boy, anyone who's watched YouTube will also know, but Joel has always been his biggest critic. Please don't be up there beating yourself up over this, Joel. This was an accident, mate, and there is no one to blame. Our doing what you love, that is what is comforting us now. We all knew you were finally in the happiest place of your short life. Living your motocross dream in your short life, it's all on you. You found a way to make it happen. No matter how inventive, and you worked your heart out to make your dreams a reality. Every single person here is so very proud of you. Joel, that massive kind heart of yours has shattered into a million pieces. And now we have all lost some of our own heart to fit that piece of yours in. And I know it's going to bring me getting a bloody tattoo. The whole family has decided that we'll get matching tattoos in your honour, even me. So you better come any more days too. I always taught my children, if you can't decide on something, whether it's the right or the wrong thing to do, just do what's kind, and it'll always believe that Joel lived his life making those kind choices. So I ask all of you, please pay it forward. In Joel's honour, we can all be a little bit kinder to each other. And lastly, we got you plot 281, Joel. And I've got the plot next to you, so when my time comes, you'll know where to find me, and we can ride off to heaven together. My baby boy, I'm going to miss you, your contagious laugh, your big, beautiful smile. I'm just mostly going to miss you today until we meet again. So super proud of you, Joel, forever and always. I love you.
Well done, Marie. That was really beautiful. So, next we have Alex Reardon. Joel's sister will now share some words on behalf of their dad, Ronnie.
To my son, my little boy yesterday, my friend today, my son forever, I am so proud of you, and I love you more than anything in the world. Hello everyone, I am Jolie's very proud dad, and no one can take that from me. Jolie was one of a kind from day one. He always enjoyed every day, took nothing for granted, and smiled at everything and everyone. He loved life. As everyone here today knew his passion, it all started by swapping an old beer fridge with our neighbour for his Pee-wee 50 back in 1999. And not long after, we all ended up with bikes and were enjoying family weekends at local tracks and trail rides. But that soon wasn't enough for Jolie once he caught the bug. So racing started at Warwick in 2001. We both learned a lot of lessons that day. Apparently a standard Pee-wee wasn't what all the other kids had, and so it began. We travelled the state, chasing tracks for years in the high ace with his sisters, Renee and Alex. The family time and little stories we have shared can never be replaced. Plenty of ups and downs, but the four of us, sleeping in the high ace van with a 3-metre quick shade off the side, meeting friends for life every weekend, were the best days of my life. His sisters moved on from racing themselves, but Jolie told me he'd never stop. Jolie was always the competitor on whatever we could afford. He never ever complained, and like all the kids there, he couldn't wait to meet the pros, shake their hand and get an autograph. There was a couple of very big names in the sport there, and they dismissed Jolie, along with a bunch of others. Dad, when I become a pro rider, I won't be like them. I'm going to be nice to all the kids. Bloody 10 years old, so you all know Joel stuck to his word. He went above and beyond for his fans, making time for them, even when he didn't have the time and would run late if he had to. Joel was always tough on himself, very rarely blamed the bike or anyone else. That never changed, right to the end. You would never ever know, but he was often in a lot of physical pain. Yet he never complained. Because I could see how dedicated he was, I was happy to keep supporting him, but he wanted to be his own man and pay for things himself, which I respected. He always had excellent work ethic, so I was stoked when the customers loved him and he picked everything up so quickly. He worked for me for a few years around his racing and training before he told me his idea of YouTubing for money. I said that I believed him, and wow, did it work. The hours that Michaela and Joel put in was ridiculous, but they made it happen. He became a top 10 guy on the track week in and week out and created one of the best YouTube channels around. Again, he was 100% right. Michaela, thank you for helping make my boy achieve his dreams. What a team you made. He loved you so much, as do all of us. You are a part of the family and always will be. The last few years, I have followed my Joel around proudly, watching his achievements and the support and love he was receiving, thinking, yeah mate, you done it. Joel's dream was always to race for a living and make it to a factory team. Well mate, you ticked all your boxes. And you even made a little boy of your own too. I wish he could get to know you the way we have, but I promise he will be looked after and loved and supported to make his dreams come true, like you did. I wanted to also take a moment to give a big thank you to all Joel's sponsors over the years and everyone that helped Joel along the way. This was a big team effort, and we are grateful for every single one of you. One of the last messages on my phone from Jolie was after his win in Thailand, the week before he passed. I said, you should be feeling great and very proud of yourself, mate. I'm proud as. He said, thanks, Dad. Thank you for allowing me to live my childhood dream. It's not America, but I'm racing my dirt bike for a living. I'm forever grateful for the crazy hours you put in to get me here. Where I replied, I'm just so happy for you. Loved every bit of it and still do. Jolie, I love you so much. Thanks for being you. Where's Ben? Am I just good to go? Anyways, it's me. It's now my turn. I don't really have a lot, and I just firstly want to start by saying thank you so much to everyone who's travelled and donated their funds and time to be here today. To Jolie, my big brother, greatest protector, godfather to my babies, and best friend. I don't have the words to say what I feel because I'm still waiting to wake from this nightmare, so I will keep this short. It started off as siblings, brother and sister. It turned into so much more. You were my best friend. We went through our entire lives always together, through our parents' separation, moving towns, growing up. You have lived with me in almost every house I've had as an adult. What we have is so special. It almost felt like a twin at times. We could say no words and know exactly what the other was thinking or felt. From every afternoon after school hanging out to motocross weekends to adult life, especially your last few years, we spent so much time together. I don't have major memories or milestones because it was the everyday general life for us. Michaela, Joel, Luke and I would do anything and everything together. We would often FaceTime to keep up with what we were all doing, especially once I had my boys. Which brings me to my first thank you. Thank you for being the greatest uncle to my boys, especially Archman. You two had the most special bond. Every jersey or motorbike is Mama Bike, it Joel. And I promise to continue to tell him about you and your legacy, just like I did when you were here. Thank you for teaching me the way in life and accepting me for who I am, and I promise to keep being me, as you would always tell me to.
But most of all, thank you for giving me life. I could list all the things you've gifted to all of us here today, but it's not about us, it's about you. I am so proud of you and all you achieved in your short time. Such a credit to your hard work and dedication. You really were your harshest critic, and you strived always to be better, and you really did only get better every single day. You were going to be the greatest dad to Freddie and husband to Mickey, and my heart aches daily for this. But I promise to make you proud and take amazing care of them, like you always did. Jolie, I am not sure what the future looks like now, as you were always in it. My vision of what it is going to look now is blurry, but I'm sure for being you. I miss you already. I love you always and forever.
And for yourself as well. So I'd now like to welcome Michaela Hurt up here, Joel's life partner, and to share her insights on her connection and love with Joel.
For being here. I've been in this town hall many times over the years for dance concerts, blue light discos, school shows and formal. I think last time I was here was actually sitting with Jolie in the middle over here watching Al do her dance concert. I don't think we were even dating yet, but we got to sit and have a good laugh. This honestly just doesn't feel real, and if I think about it too much, it breaks my heart. It was so normal for Joel to be away for weeks at a time, and it feels like he's just still away racing, and I will get to see him again soon. I'm sorry, but I'm not quite ready to say goodbye, so I'm just going to share a bit more of our story. He remembers me from years earlier. My first memory of Joel is from our Year 9 English class. My friend and I were passing notes, and we were Fast forward another year, and our romance started, like all good romance stories do, when he slipped into my DMs with a "Hey, smiley face, thanks for the ad." It was a week ago, and he was already keen to ride. It's supposed to be 6 months, he said, but that's silly, I'll try for 4. I asked, so do you do freestyle type stuff? The typical I have no idea about motocross question that I know would have got a laugh out of him. It's for Gavins. I race. At this point, Jolie had already left school because he was, and I quote, just training heaps and trying to pick up this year so that he can get paid to race. It took 2 more years before we officially started dating. Believe it or not, he had commitment issues because he was worried a girlfriend would get in the way of his racing. We were 2 kids trying to figure out who we were, and we ended up falling in love at the same time. For years we questioned if this was true love. How do you even know when you're so young and have barely experienced life? But we chose to keep it simple. If we woke up and decided being with each other made the day better, then that was what we did. We woke up and chose each other every day, and we grew together. We were always moving forward, always tweaking life towards exactly what we wanted. We communicated, we planned, but we were always willing to pivot if something changed. It was the same in life as it was for racing. We never settled. Jolie especially would always push us to be the happiest we could be, because he was never one to settle, and living a stock standard life just wasn't on the cards for us. The more different, the better for him. Jolie, I am so grateful to you for making me who I am, for shaping me over the last 12 years, and for waking up every day and choosing me. You were always so sure of your dreams, and I just followed you for years. Of the last 12 years, I can say without a doubt these last 12 months have been our best. It may not have been as simple as you thought, but you did make it. You were still working so hard, but you were living your dreams. And I think that's what I want people to know most, because it's what has brought me the most peace these last couple of weeks. We had so much we were looking forward to, but I just want everyone to know that he was so happy, that we were so happy. His heart was the lightest I'd seen in years. He felt successful and finally just enjoying the journey and providing for his family. He was always such the provider. Even when I told him about Bob, his first instinct was always, I need to quit racing and get a real job. And I would have to remind him that he was providing for us through his racing, that we'd decided to have Bob now so we could bring him along for the adventures, and because we were so stoked on life, and that was the life we wanted to bring baby into. Because how good is this life we've built, we would say. I'm so glad I always told him how proud I was, that so much was thanks to him, and that I loved him. This last year has been busy for us. I knew about Bub for 10 days before he was home and I could finally tell him, and I think he's only been home for 5 weeks since. It must have still been sinking in for him though. On his last trip to Thailand, I woke up to a message going, holy shit, we're having a baby. And I go, yes honey, we're having a baby. I'm glad we're on the same page here. He was so excited to be a dad. Oh, sorry. We then went on to talk about how we really need to come up with a name so we can stop calling Bub Fred. But here we are with little Freddie for now. He was so excited to be a dad, and we were so excited to bring Bub along for our life. We were off on the trip of a lifetime, then we were going to come home and go into full baby mode. It breaks my heart because he's going to be such a good dad. I'd seen it in the way he was with his niece and nephews, with the kids that he coached, and the time that he gave to young fans. He was so patient and so kind, and no doubt was going to be the fun one out of the two of us. I cannot even begin to explain how grateful I am that although life is looking different than planned, that you have all helped him to continue to provide for us even when he isn't here. That this community has shown up with so much love and support for me and Freddie. I know it is such a testament to the man that he was and how many people he touched. It fills me with so much pride. I only wish he got to see how loved he was. I love that he is remembered by that big bloody smile. For those closest to Joel, he was always such a 5, always a bit tired, never cared too much, never got too high. But I realise now that was because he was always giving everyone else his 10. I feel like all I keep saying is thank you and I'm sorry, but that is all I feel. I'm so glad so many of you got to know him, especially over the last 5 years, but it also breaks my heart and I'm so sorry that so many of you have to feel this. But thank you. To his sponsors, who have honestly always been like family, but even more so now. To his mates, I see you up for us. To all of Joel's family, thank you. Thank you for backing me 100%. Luke, our best friends, thank you for stepping up and taking such great care of me, for holding me together when you two are all grieving. I love you all. Ali and Holly, who went above and beyond for us. I speak on behalf of the family when I say thank you. From the moment we arrived at the with so much care and respect, we were able to spend all of Sunday night in a room with Jolie, where we got to hold him, and he got to listen to Bub's heartbeat one more time. In the chaos of the days that followed, we added a bit more chaos. Al and I have listened to Darling Shine podcast for years, where co-host Elodie Pullen talks about the sudden loss of her partner Chumpy, a professional snowboarder, and her journey to receive his sperm post-mortem and eventually welcome a little girl Minnie via IVF. A story I never in my wildest dreams thought I would relate so closely to. As soon as the girls arrived in Adelaide on Sunday night, Al added to our list of strange requests and asked if the hospital staff knew anything about this. They had never heard of it but got straight to work. We knew there was a time limit. While we spent our time with Jolie, they rallied together a team in the middle of the night, making calls to lawyers, doctors, specialists, and by that morning they came back and said it could be done. By the next night, we had 10 straws of healthy swimmers safely stored away, an incredible amount we are told. Jolie was always adamant he had the best swimmers. Hey, Lukey. I no longer know what the future holds for us, but I can't even explain the peace and comfort it gives me and the rest of the family knowing that we have this option. And lastly, to Jolie. The hardest thing is that with everything that has happened these past couple of weeks, I just want to tell you all about it. You are my person, my best friend, the one I would go to for comfort and advice. I can't explain how many times I've picked up my phone to call or sent you a photo. The older we got, the more I realised that everything about you that drove me crazy was actually everything I loved about you. I am so grateful for the memories, for the simple times just sitting on the couch, that goddamn beautiful smile, and your laugh. It is scary to carry on this legacy, honey. You set the bar so bloody high, and you were always the doer. Always the one to figure it out when things got tough. But I'll put on the big girl pants and we'll do our best. We will do you proud. I love you forever. Thank you.
Well done. Absolutely amazing, Michaela. So, we are now going to turn our attention to the screen and we're going to view some of the amazing tributes that have been shared online.
Somebody else from the room and said, yeah, everybody welcome. He's like a gritty privateer guy.
Look, in fact, Jolin's in the house. He's not privateer pro anymore. He's
I'll get back to it. Yeah, fine. I was like, me.
So go from the back.
check out the hashtag Forever81. There's just thousands and thousands of those memories. So I think we're going to welcome up Uncle Gav. No, we're going to go into that first. Yep. So we're going to open the mic up to some people who want to get up here and speak and share their connection to Joel. So if anyone is willing, has the courage, we would like you to come to either side of the stage and just share some. You're going to go next though, Gav. Who's going to go now? So if you want to come up and speak after, come on Uncle Gav, come on. If anyone wants to come and speak after Uncle Gav, please just make your way to the sides of the stage.
Hello everyone. These girls, I tell you, they know how to talk. It'll change now, I can tell you. I'm Gavin. I'm Joel's very proud uncle. When Renee asked me to first speak, I said yes, no problem. But after the days rolled on, I didn't think I'd be able to do it, so I reneged. It was only last night, I was laying down, and I heard Jolie say, "Come on, Uncle Gav, don't be a wuss." So I'm up here trying to show the bravery that Joel always did. I'm so incredibly grateful to have been there for Jolie from the very beginning and watch him grow into such a confident, humble and amazing young man. Being a part of the 81 crew meant so much to me, and I am so lucky to be involved in his grand life adventures. I would not have travelled to so many places or met so many amazing people without Jolie and his love for the sport. I never really appreciated motocross before seeing him ride, but I loved watching him race because I knew, like we all do, how much joy it brought to him. So thank you, Jolie, for sharing this with us. I am blessed with 3 daughters, but if I had a son, on my own, I would like him to be exactly like Jolie. Kind-hearted, passionate, and hard-working. He always had time for others, even though he faced many of his own challenges as a privateer. Jolie, I was always so proud of you and all that you accomplished. From the entire Evans family, I want to extend our condolences to Michaela, little Freddie, and all your family, to Jolie's #1 supporter and dedicated father, Rod, Nana, Renee, Alex and their families, and to Jolie's mum, Marie, and their family. We're so sorry for the tragic loss. Rest in peace, champion. We love you.
Joel was more than just a coach to me. He was a friend, friend to all of us, and pretty sure we can probably all say Joel didn't just race motocross, he was motocross, and I'm sure everyone will miss him. Thank you.
Anyone else who would like to come up and share some words, please just come up to the front.
Rodney, Marie, Renee, Alex, his fiancee Keela, and all their families. bush. Rod and I would take the kids out cutting firewood. The memories of those little kids, Renee, Jolie, Hayley and Dylan, all on their little 50cc bikes, riding the tracks, sitting down for smoko and talking after we cut the wood, and then to get them to help load the wood was just priceless. Joel was such a good-natured, well-mannered kid. I will never forget the day Joel arrived with his KTM 50. After checking it over and a little chat, Jolie, with his soft voice, asked me if I would like to have a ride. Well, what a little champ. In the early days, I worked at a motorcycle shop, helping Rod and Joel in the early days setting up sponsors with motor, Bridgestone and bikes. It was always an exciting day for Joel. He never said much, but his big eyes, a smile full of teeth, said it all. The laughs and good times at the bush camp will always be with us, sitting around the campfire. Only at Easter this year, sitting around the fire talking about some of the events that used to go on after the cutting of the firewood. Last week, to put pen to paper, I drove out a bush to one of these tracks, pulled up a stump. 24 years ago, felt like yesterday, looking at those big eyes, those two front teeth with dust all over his face. Thank you, Rod, for swapping that fridge for the Pee-wee. All the memories made by everyone in this room. Joel is a very special person to our family and many others. He followed his dreams, not like us. Thank you.
When I first started riding motorbikes, I was just riding around on my mini, and then when I started getting better, we were trying to find a coach, but we couldn't find any, and then we ringed up Joel and he said, sure. So then we went to MX Farm and then we just started coaching. Thank you.
My name is Hunter Cameron. I'm a neighbour of Roddy and Erica, wonderful neighbours. Anyway, what a day. Just a couple of words. Joel was a champion man and a champion rider. And condolence to the family over there. Thank you.
From Ricky, who was 8 years old, to managed in his youth, spanning generations. So, is there anyone else who wants to come up? And if there's things that are stirring you and stories, see on the back of your program, there's an email for you to share those stories. Coming down the aisle. And you're all doing such a great job. Yeah.
Didn't realise such a big crowd from standing out the front, but I could feel Joel, trying to motivate me to just do it and come in and say a few words. I remember Joel riding back when he was, I'm sure how old, probably, anyway, he was on 65 when I was on a US ex-pro KDM, Kawasaki, and he was keeping up to me on this little 65, and at some stage just getting past him, thinking, yeah, this kid's going to be a pro rider, and then back into riding, we go to the Kinroy track, and some of the mid-Wednesday afternoon sort of practices, a couple of times, it was just me and Joel down, the older guys on bigger bikes, so got to sort of train with him a couple of times, and yeah, really cherish that time now that he's not around in the physical, and yeah, basically been working that hard lately, like following dreams as he did, and a lot of the days due to like unfinished house and off-grid house situation, I only had maybe half an hour to relax, and a lot of that time I was watching his career unfold online, and yeah, he's an absolute legend, and rest in peace, and love to the big family.
And this is all part of the, like Mum said, the heart broken into a million pieces. And this is all part of that your connection, all of those parts of Joel residing and existing within you. So, all of you have been deeply touched and affected by Joel's life and in turn his passing. And whilst today we gather to celebrate his life, we also gather to support one another as we grieve for Joel's passing, as his death does leave a huge hole in the hearts and the lives of everyone who knew him. And we've got Bree's put together a video which we're going to watch, and this is a good time to go inwards into your own place of reflection for Joel and your own feelings of loss that are present for you today.
If photo card should be a lot more kind of, yeah, you can see how you look right now. Yeah, just fumbling around, trying to put myself up a lot.
And the biggest gift must be yes, we did.
2020, I decided I'm going to go all in, quit my job, and race full time, and just give myself every possible chance to get to that level where we'll see the value to be able to sign. Wish you were here.
Okay, we started this Partnership Pro journey about 4 years ago, and we finally got the call for Melbourne's round of the Oz Supercross. We're going to be riding for the...
A lot of positives to take away, so let's move on.
Yeah, we're going to stomp our feet, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get up out of our seats. Let's make a bit of noise. Ready? So, a few acknowledgements. We'd like to mention the race safe, the hospitals. They'd like to thanks for all the appreciation for the followers and the supporters, and all the people who are zooming in from the privateer to the pro, living his dream. It's probably got a few of us in the audience wondering if we're living our dream. So his next chapter to become a dad. I'm a dad, and that's a big thing. Pamphlets there, just put your phone on the QR code. I'd like to thank all the people who put together the race days and the ones that are still to come. We've seen like clothing options of hoodies and t-shirts. They feel so loved and appreciated. So shortly we're going to wheel Jolly out, and not on the motorbike though. I know we all came to see someone do a wheelie down, but not today. And we're going to gather in the supper room, which is off to the side. Take his body out, and we might join out front. But the family has specifically chosen to do a private burial tomorrow, so they can hang out with all of you after this and really, hear those stories. And once we go out the front, we're going to be in this supper room to the side. And yeah, please stay, please hang out. Turn to the person next to you and ask, how do you know Joel? What's your connection to Joel? Let those stories keep weaving this beautiful web together. They would love if you could add your name into the memorial book at the start, and if that's not your time today, at the back of the brochure is the email. Please send those things for little Freddie to see in the future. All those videos and all those tributes. And they'd really like to keep that just a private experience tomorrow. So, before we finish the ceremony today, just remember to be up above. Remember to be up above. You're riding up above. Up above. This feels so wrong. Wish I could say hello. Wish I could say hello one more time. Wish they said one more time. Wish they said you were fine. Sometimes life is a test, and you're riding up above. You're riding up above. You were taken way too soon, but now you're riding up above. Up above. You're riding up over the place. Over the place. How we wish we could rewind that race. Your memory will always live on. Your courage will make us strong. Can't believe you're gone. No, no. Can't believe you're gone.
Turn to a friendship, turn to a